And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the lower semifinals here. The semifinals of the Korean StarCraft League week number 73. We're nearing the end of the broadcast. We have two series left. We have the semis and then the grand finals thereafter. We already have Hero waiting for the winner of this series in the next round. And who will face him? Who will join him as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of El Dorado? We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our fresh best of 3. And we'll see how this story concludes. We'll see who faces off against Hero in those finals. Will it be a Terran? Will it be a Zerg? Who will it be? Up to you to decide. Now, as a reminder, there is a little bit of a recent history between the two players. Cure did recently face off against Dark earlier a couple of days ago. If you missed out on the series, I recommend the VODs. We did cast it here in English, of course, on the CranKy Ducklings. VODs are on YouTube. We casted the Rex April Madness, where Cure did take down Dark in a best of 5, 3-0. It was a dominant performance there by Dark, but it's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new tournament, of course, as well, and Dark, he has already gotten his revenge over Bunny in this tournament. Can he do the same over Cure? I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. As Dark, he will very quickly mine and open up Gasless. Let's go. Now, if you've been watching Dark for any period of time, you would understand, you would know that Dark is very fond of these gases openers. Now, this opener is very map dependent. Very map dependent here. It is going to be a hatch pull hatch opener by Dark. No gases whatsoever. And why can you do this on El Dorado? Well, the reasoning for this is because it is that much more awkward and difficult for the Terran player to harass this base with Hellions. At the moment, all you have to do is just defend the ramp. Defend the ramp, wall off with Queens, and you can deter any kind of Hellion aggression, and your third base is safe and sound because your opponent is fully walled off by all these minerals. Now, once these minerals get mined out in the center, then Cure can start to rotate and try to harass his third base, but at the same time, there's a reason why Dark does leave this area mostly closed, as Reaper does pick in, gets one link, gets two links. Oh my god. Nice value here from the Reaper already, getting two, getting three. This is getting a little bit out of hand. 3 links do go down. But what I was getting at is that there's a reason why Dark doesn't fully mine this area up. That is because one queen is enough to wall off this location. So if Hellions do threaten this space, you can just pull the boys, mineral walk them past the queen into your natural, and the queen will defend. So again, it is very easy to defend with pure queens on 3 bases on El Dorado in ZvT. That's why no link speed. That's why no gases. That's why no link speed. So you can cut corners. This is the case on Abyssal Reef, on Neon Violet Square, and on King's Cove as well. So there are certain maps where it is more viable to open up castles like this. Other maps where it isn't. Like, you would never do this on like Ley Lines or Whispers of Gold. There are certain maps there where it is less viable and more risky, and yeah, you can't get away with it. Ultra Love as well. That's another good example. So Ultra Love, Ley Lines, Whistles of Gold. You'll get punished quite hard if you try and attempt this. So if you're out there, if you see this build, you're like, yo, I want to play like Dark. Just be aware that, you know, there are some maps where it is easier than others. So just be careful out there. PSA. Meanwhile, of course, it is going to be a Roach follow-up, and as we mentioned, we're walling up. We're walling up this ramp, walling up this location. The reason why it's Roaches, as we mentioned, there is no link speed, and because link speed would be so late anyway, you just skip it. You just skip it entirely, go straight into Roach base openers. Now, this can lead into a Roach all-in, like what we saw against Bunny. True, it could lead into a Roach all-in, or this could just lead into Roach, into the mid-game, into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Dark, he has ways to approach this, and he can adjust accordingly. This can also lead into Roach, into Ling Bane, into Fast Hive, into Ultras. I know that Shin is quite fond of that. Anyway, Hellions, they bust in. Queen's out of position. Well, Queens are out of position. We have some Slowlings that are trying to keep up, and it looks like the Queens, they will keep up in time. They will shut this down. The Hellions, they don't kill any drones. Whew, they get away. It's almost disastrous there from Dark. Again, he was caught out, but the punish was not there. Punish was not real. Dark, he holds, he defends. Meanwhile, Cure going to be expanding towards his opponent. He will be rushing into that gold. Now, we were talking about what you can do as Zerg player on El Dorado. True, and now you can just rush into this 4th base with also a gold-based mineral as well. What you can do on El Dorado from the Terran side of things is A-Raxing. Because you can expand towards your opponent, and especially in this kind of game state, we can see here that bases, they're in the same screen. Like these 2 bases, the 3rd base for Cure and the 4th base for Dark, they're within the same screen. Pushes from Terran hit so hard on this map. So Cure, he has the option to commit into an 8-Rax, into a 3-base all-in with a boosted economy thanks to the gold. That's the other big factor here, is that because of the gold minerals, 8-Raxes hit even harder than previously, as you can get away with a lower SCV count and with even more army and more marines. Hellions, they poke in. They get 1 drone so far. We're just trying to keep up. And we'll keep an eye on Cure. For now, he's getting up to 5 Raxes. Everything's looking normal so far. And the other reason why this does kind of facilitate for A-Raxes even more is when you A-Rax, you don't take your gases. And fun fact, there are no gases here. Like, there's no gases on this side of the gold mineral patch or of the gold base. So, I mean, we weren't going to take gases anyway. It's Banshees, they do get into the mineral line. The Spore is not done. A drone's getting 1. Should he get 1? He gets 2, he gets 3, he gets up to 5, 6. Oh my god. 6 drones going down. Likewise, Spore not ready here at the natural either. Ooh, and Dark is getting torn apart. It's getting 9, 10. Oh my god. 10 drones go down. The Banshees, they all get away. And we're going for the all-in. It makes sense. Dark, he's lost far too much. There's no way to macro out of this. We're going for the all-in. Nidus is on the way. 1-1 is on the way as well. It's going to be all or nothing for Dark. We'll see if he can break a Cure before Cure can really get this going, because Cure is not all-inning. He only went up to 5 Raxes, and he will expand and get a 4th base. So Cure, he's going to take a more macro approach instead. Dark is not. Now, does Cure make the same mistake Bunny did, which is pushing into an all-inning player? Cure, he needs to set up defensively with more tanks. Tanks are going to be paramount so far. Cure just keeping Dark busy. Oh, catching at roaches. Denying mining. Slowing Dark down. And again, Dark, he hasn't made a drone in quite some time. Dark is going to max out and push with pure Roach with 1-1. There it is, Nidus into the main. Cure, he does notice. He does respond, he does react. As he reacts back home, he does expose his base. Just being pulled apart here. Overreaction from Cure. He deals with the Nidus, but it didn't matter because Dark, he was going for the kill, going for the 3rd instead. So far, he denies the 3rd. He will force a cancel on the board CC as well. Does force a cancel. This is okay damage, but this is still nothing critical. Dark needs more. Does need more. Cure, he re-expands. He re-establishes himself. We have 3-3 on the way. Sorry, 2-2 on the way. And Dark, he does make 1 drone. He's going for the gold. Now, technically, Dark, he doesn't need to drone, but he can still maintain himself and get into a longer game by taking this gold. All he has to do is transfer. If he transfers workers from this regular base to the gold base, then he's basically playing with an increased economy already. So true, that is a way for him to just keep going and to get into a longer game while still staying on a low drone count. As Dark is maxed. It's maxed out with pure roaches. Cure, he needs some tank support. Has to pull back. Oh, Banshees, they force a cancel. These Banshees have been doing a lot. They've been cracked. They've been crazy. Cure, he's almost maxed out himself. He's getting there. I'll say attempt to connect in the mineral line. So far, what I will say here is that Cure, I mean, this is where the soup does lie. Cure, he does have a more efficient army than his opponents. This is purely Roach Ravager. This does not scale amazingly into a longer game, into other maxed out armies. Does bow down one of the tanks. Ooh, meanwhile, does rain down here on the Medivacs. Gets 1. 1 Medivac goes down. Oh, The splits though. Calm down, Kir. Oh my god. Likewise, moving in, we'll bleed out 6 SCVs. But again, Kyrie's out trading Dark. Biles going for another tank. They do take down one of the Banshees. Very nice Biles. Catching out a Banshee, a Medevac, and a tank. Meanwhile, Go Base is getting saturated. Dark, he still hasn't droned in like, what, 3-4 minutes? Like, he's making one drone at a time every now and then. With no proper saturation. Still just have it fixated on Road Ravager. I'm mixing some Banelings. Baneling speed is almost done. So he's turning this into Ling Bane Road Ravager. This is going to be a better army. So Dark is refining himself. Base is under fire. Does rotate. Oh. Back catch the Viking. The expansion is going to go down. Let's pick up here for Cure. Dark waiting for his upgrades. We have Adrenal on the way. He's got his Hive. He does try to commit in. Tank is on siege. Wiles don't quite connect. I'm loving the spread of Wiles that Dark uses as well. It's such a wide spray. And that's how he's able to catch Medevacs every now and then. Now going for the tank. Tank will fall. Biles, they do connect with the army. But Curie stemming in. He's trying to go for the kill. Tank late to siege. Dark, he does break out. He's breaking through this. Takes out all the tanks. Yeah, 3 tanks go down. Curie going to be forced all the way back to his bases, to his mineral line. And Dark has to keep going. He has to keep pushing. Doesn't quite get in. Not yet. Oof. Nice Biles. Once again, they get another Medevac. Another Medevac goes down. Oof. Barely another. Reinforcements on the way. The Medevacs! Get out of here! Oh my god! They almost all go down. And Dark, he doesn't break Cure, but again, he gets almost every Medevac. That was like, what, 5-6 Medevacs going down? And the CC! And with that, Dark, he's done it. He's done it. He's broken the back of Cure. Takes down a base. Takes down all the Medevacs. That should not have happened. And Dark, he can keep pushing. Behind this, the northern bases are left untouched. We spoke about this during the Hero series against Hero versus Beyond. Similar setup because of all the aggression that's happening down here towards the south side. Curie just had no breathing room to harass elsewhere. He's now trying to move out, but at this point it's too late. At this point it's too late. Oh, no shot. Okay. Whew. He does get away. Calm down, Doc. Calm down. Aye. Curie gets out, getting his third up and running. It's on Cure to just defend and stabilize. Again, Darky is free to just mass expand. Take more bases. Starts moving in. Once again, ooh, catching out some stray units. Yeah, Curie's catching strays. Oh. Yeah, once again on the Medevacs. Once again, Dark popping up. And thankfully, Dark is taking. What's up next? Ultras. Ultra Cabinet is done. We have Kindness Plating on the way. Infestors as well. Viper's now coming into the mix. Going for the power bombs. Again, dealing damage over time. Catching out more Medevacs, forcing these splits. Forcing these spreads. As both Liberators do fall. Again, very nice Biles here from Dark. He Biles like no other. He's crazy. He's cracked. Again, it's still keeping up now. Cure, he does re-expand and he does retake these bases, and it's on Cure to take the gold at this point. Like, at this point, he will have to try to work his way towards that gold base. Infestors, they're burrowed. They're tunneling in. do see Dark commit. Again, here come the Fungals. Fungals, they graze the army. He just has enough here. He just has more than enough here to overwhelm. Lingbane rolls in. Another Fungal connects. And Dark, he has done. He has broken his opponent. GG gets called. Dark, he will take game number 1. He will take a lead in the series. Whew, GG. A very, very intense game. Very back and forth. I would say that initially Cure had a stronger start compared to Dark. But something that really did set the tone or set the pace was the Nidus play. If you remember, the first Nidus into the main base didn't get up and running, but it forced a big overreaction. Cure, he sent everything back to defend against it. Likewise, he was denied the gold base. Dark was able to gain some momentum. Despite that, I would say that we still had a back and forth afterwards, but Dark, he was able to very accurately just kind of transition out of pure Roach Ravager into Lingbane Roach Ravager. He may be losing bases, but he was able to just catch out Cure time and time again. Obviously, the most impressive thing by Dark are his biles, right? His biles, he shouldn't be killing Banshee, shouldn't be killing Medevac, shouldn't be catching these stray units, but he does. Like, he's able to just have some really, really chaotic placement with his biles that make things chaotic for his opponents, stress them out, and actually connect and get some crazy connections. Again, there was that one fight where he killed like 6 Medevacs. It was insane. It's crazy. GG. GG, well played. Dark does take a lead, and now we are jumping into game number 2. And again, this is something that's no other player, I would say, can do. Even players like Raynor and Serral, they never pull stuff like that off. Part of it is also because they almost never play purely Roach Ravager like that. True, especially Serral, whenever he opens Roach, it's only a stepping stone to get into Lingbane. So they often don't have those kind of compositions, so that's maybe one of the reasons why we never see it from them, but at the same time, that's it. That's what we love by Dark. That's what we love about it. He's unique in his own way. And here we are, spawning in the right hand corner of Ultra Love. We have our South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the top, on the bottom left hand corner, we have his South Korean opponent, the South Korean Terran, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We go. Does Healing Rocks on one side drop both? If you're referring to take these 2 ramps, for example, if you knock down on El Dorado, if you knock down the rocks here, it knocks down like both towers here. That is true, but not on the other side as well. You have to take that down separately, which is what happened in that last game. I was able to destroy both sides. But yes, on El Dorado, the 2 towers that are here at the ramp, they share HP basically. They share HP. That's what you're referring to. It's maybe an easier way of explaining it. But we're now getting into game number 2 here so far. Standard openers. Well,
paused.
Never mind. Welcome one and all to Ultra Love. It looks like something has come up. Hopefully everything's okay. What I was about to mention here is that this time Dark is most likely not going to go for a gasless opener. Here on Ultra Love, it is less viable to get away with a greedy build like that, so we should be seeing a more standard, I mean, we already see it, gas here from Dark, which we did not see last game. Oh, never mind.
Game resumed.
Yeah, we're back. We are back. So this time Hatch Gas pull out a Dark standard opener out of our Zerg player. Again, gasless builds are not viable here on Ultra Love. Are these guys just me or just observer into Korea? As we do see a delay on the 3rd base, Dark Heat does come in on the right hand side. If you see some frame drops every now and then that is latency. It does happen every now and then, unfortunately. I can turn on my VPN to try to fix that. Sometimes it's a little bit worse than otherwise, but it's just routing. Basically, it's just routing to the Korean server. The routing is sometimes not very efficient, so because of that, that's why you see some frame drops every now and then. I'll say it looks fine here, but I think I know what you mean. Like I think it's like every now and then it's like a frame drop here and there, maybe every couple of minutes. But yeah, to fix that, you can just use a VPN. It's a bit of a hassle, but we can use it if need be. Now then, we're settling in. It is going to be a my apologies, it's going to be a 1-1-1. 3CZ 1-1-1 here by Cure, going for his add-on swap, going into Hellion Banshee. Meanwhile, Dark, despite not going gasless, he still will open up Roach. And again, Dark, he's a bit of a Roach boy. He does enjoy, or it is his preferred style of play. Not saying that Dark can never play Ling Bane. He can 100%, especially on some larger maps. He's more than happy to play Ling Bane, but we did mention earlier that on smaller maps, Roach play is more accepted just because Terran players can be more aggressive on this map, so Roaches just keep you safe in the early to mid game. If you remember, in the Dark vs Bunny series, Dark also played Roach against Bunny as well. He turned it into an all-in, if you recall, so we might see that here as well. But again, we expect to see Roaches on maps like Ultra Love, on Whispers of Gold. Those are the kind of maps we do expect that on. El Dorado as well. True. Secure is claiming his third. Banshee is on the way. Banshee does move out. Cure, he has yet to really confirm what's... there we go. He does spot the Roaches. He's aware. As usual, Roaches do move out. Remember, this is only a handful of Roaches, 8 Roaches in total. They're rallying across the map. This is just designed to pick off some key units, just designed to trade, not designed to kill. As the Banshee does respond. It's Hellion. Picks up Hellion, not much more than that. Again, Dark just keeping Cure busy as he is droning. And we'll see if Dark does decide to saturate his bases or not. So far, Dark pulling back. Drone moving in, getting a drone. Rotate over towards that linear third. As Banshees, they got 5 drone kills so far. I mean, the Banshees in game 1 as well were very successful. They got so much done. That's why it was a stronger start for Cure. But I say 5, getting it to 9. Ay. 9 drones do go down, but Dark, he's taking up. We have the Infestation bit on the way. That's going to lead into the Hive, into Hydrogen, into potentially Lurker play. Okay. So Dark, based on this tech path, it does look like Lurkers. And that should lead into Nidus Lurker play as well in a later game. For now, Cure just saturating. Cure just saturating his bases, getting up to 5 Raxes. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Does take his gases as well. If he skipped his gases, we might see an 8 Rax, but for now, everything's looking as it should, which means Cure should expand from here as well and get a 4th CC. So just building up towards a longer and later game. Dark is fanning out. His Hive is halfway done. And again, Dark is just being the defender. He's just being the defender at this point. While he takes up towards Lurker Tech. He's still getting there. It's going to be up to Cure to try to slow him down. And he does take down some tumors here and there. But still no major economic damage. Trading its Roaches. Roaches a 1 a trade. Dark is being active. He's being active and knocking down some towers, keeping up with drops. Viper production has begun. Now we're expecting a lurker den at this point, but we haven't seen one yet, which is interesting. We're still sticking with Roach Hydra for the time being, Roach Hydra Viper, which is a bit of an older school composition. He does move out on the right hand side. Dark is keeping up. He has no Ravagers, bear that in mind, so he doesn't have as much capability to move in here. Base goes down. And the tanks have just so much more power behind this as well, just because there are no piles. And I'm concerned for Dark, I'll be honest. Like, Dark, he's maxed out, but I don't have too much confidence in this army, is what I will say. Here come the Vipers, though. Vipers, they move in, they have Ducks, sorry, they Blinding Cloud. They cover two of the tanks. There's only one tank behind this, so Darky will hold. It's a bit of a messy hold, but a hold nonetheless. Ducks the tank, and we'll clean everything up. Shots on all the tanks. We can see here he tried to keep rallying in, but barely doesn't quite have enough. He has to pull back, has to pull away. Again, Darky lost mainly Roaches in that trade. He preserved his Hydras. Hydras were preserved. Curie has to rebuild, now claiming his 4th base. And now we have the lurker den. Okay, so that was just for defense. Just to hold, just to survive. Now we're taking up with the lurkers. And again, can Cure break Dark before lurker tech? That is still the question. A lot of this defense is going to come down to the Vipers. There's 2 Vipers, full of energy. Hydras, they lunge in. Lunge forward. Likewise, nice abduction. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3 tanks. And once again, the tank count is being reset. There was just nothing here to really support, to protect. Curie still tries to stim in that 1 tank, doing what it can. Decent shots. And Curie, he's not stopping. he just keeps going in. Yeah, Dark coming in for this round. A couple of Roaches that do get behind the army. They're going for the tanks. First tank goes down, and Dark, he will hold. He will shut this down completely. And Cure here extended, and Cure is being shut down. Dark, he took down Bunny earlier, and he's looking to do the same to Cure. May have struggled in the Rex April Bandits, but no, here he is popping off. He's doing what he does best. He's playing with his Roaches, of course, of all things. Cure being overly aggressive, he gets shut down. And now there's only Medivacs. Only Medivacs survive. There's 3 tanks behind this, but barely any support. Dark, he lunges in, gets on top of the tanks. And Dark, he's done it. He's done it. He breaks through, takes down Bunny, takes down Cure as well. 2-0 as Cure's trying to make a stand here at the natural, trying to make a stand at the ramp, but there's nothing left. There's nothing left. GG gets called, and Dark, he will claim the series, will make it to the grand finals to face off against Hero in the finals. This is 2024. Crazy. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he does claim it. Again, a bit of a more unusual style is what I will say. Dark, he was playing more defensive, looking to tech up into lurkers, but he delayed his lurker tech to make sure he was safe and secure. And it was a close fight. Like, that first assault at the 3rd base was not the cleanest defense from Dark, but he did barely hold on. I mean, again, the Vipers were a big part of that, kind of excelling or taking the role of Ravagers in a sense. Moving in, able to abduct, able to Blinding Cloud, dealing with the tanks, and without any tank support, you saw that Cure, he just could not break Dark. This also shows, I feel like this really emphasizes just how safe you can be if you do open Roach. Going into Roach base play and Roach base openers, like they're just so tanky. It takes so much to break through that. It's such a beefy and meaty army, and it is quite difficult to break a defending player if they're playing that kind of style. And I feel like Darky did a great job at showcasing that here. Of course, it does snowball into lurker tech later on, but really it was Cure being, I would say, overly aggressive, right? Overly aggressive, pushing a little bit too hard, pushing a little bit too much into the Roach Hydra army. GG, well played. Dark, he does hold, he does defend, and with that, Dark does make it to the finals, where he has his next series ready here. His next opponent is going to be Hero in those finals. Let's go.